What is up, everyone? Welcome to day 13 of the Sketchbook Challenge. Today I'm working on some compositions. That's what you'll be watching while I talk about today's topic. And for today's topic, I want to talk about 5 tricks to be more creative daily. These are 5 tricks that I found that work really well for me. I'm not promising that this will work for you, but these are things that you can try if you want to increase the amount of creative flow you have per day on a regular basis, essentially. So trick number 1 is doodling while tired. I found that when I draw and doodle around while I'm tired, my brain opens up more. I'm less focused on trying to make something good. I'm just having fun, being a little bit more relaxed, less tense, and that opens up the possibilities a lot. I found that if I compare my ideation in the morning versus the evening stuff usually tends to be more creative and more expansive. Like each drawing will be more different from each other instead of being close together. I find that when I try to come up with ideas in the morning, that the ideas kind of logically flow together in a way that's very predictable, while the stuff in the evening tends to be less predictable and more out there, is one way to put it. It's more creative. The options expand in the evening for me personally. But it's also like, you could also take the opposite view where if you're trying to refine an idea, if you have an idea but you haven't found the composition that works well for it, then maybe taking that idea and expanding upon it in the daytime can get you things that are similar to it, but not too expensive. But the evening drawing helps me be a lot more creative. So that's tip number 1. For tip number 2 or trick number 2, keep a sketchbook or loose paper close by at all times. So having a reminder that there's this option to draw at all times, I found that to be really useful. Like I always have a sketchbook nearby, loose paper, even when I'm watching shows or if I'm taking a nap, I'll have paper close by so that when I get up, I can doodle a little bit if I come up with something. The option to doodle at any given moment allows my brain to always have that in its background. It's almost like you're running this program in the background, like an app that's there, but it's not on the screen. But your brain knows that, oh, if I do come up with something, there is this option to draw it down and jot down notes, and just having it constantly available to me, I found that helps me a lot. It helps me be a lot more creative each day. Trick number 3 is to leave room for boredom and stillness in the day. So this is something that I've struggled with quite a bit. I'm quite addicted to YouTube. I love YouTube so much that I tend to consume too much. And I find that if I consume all day long, that I become less and less creative because there's no room for boredom and exploration. So leaving room in my schedule where I'm forced to be not bored essentially, but more still, just being calm, not consuming anything specific, and just sitting outside for 20 and 30 minutes, that helps me a lot. Leaving this open space where new ideas can come in, because if you're always consuming other people's ideas, it's very difficult to come up with ideas of your own. So I found that leaving room for boredom and stillness on a regular basis is very, very useful for me personally. Trick number 4 is to go for regular walks. Now this is a scientifically proven way of being more creative and helping the brain connect new dots. So what happens is when you go for a walk, your corpus callosum, or the bridge between your 2 hemispheres, lights up. So there is actual evidence that going for walks and listening to music, those are the 2 things that really helps your brain create new connections. So going for walks on a daily basis is a great way to get your brain flowing to help you be more creative. And it's something that I think even if it didn't help you be more creative, it definitely helps with mental health, getting into nature, getting away from the pressures of being at home and away from your bank account and whatever other work you have, your chores of home, being able to go into the nature and just realize that, there's so much out there. There's so much beauty out there that you don't have to stress about all these small things. It's always worrying about things at home can be really consuming, and it can really suck all the creativity out of you. So getting outside, breathing in some fresh air, just go for a walk without any specific intention is really helpful. I found that it's really, really useful for me if I'm kind of in a rut. Going for walks on a regular basis helps me a ton. So that's the one I would keep at the top of the list. If you're going to add anything to your schedule, go for regular walks outside in nature. So if you live in a city, try to get out into nature. If you have a park close by, it's a lot easier. For tip number 5 is to listen to new music. So listening to music is great, but listening to new music is even better. If you listen to sounds that you've never heard before, music that you've never really given a chance before, I find that that's super, super useful. Listening to new music is by far one of the best ways to be more creative. I found that whenever I find a new musician that I really like and get into, if I draw while I listen to that musician and it's like a new sound, new moods, like things that I haven't heard before, that helps me be way more creative because it opens up new doors to, like, opening up your own mind to new music kind of opens up the doors to new visuals. I find that there's a big crossover from being open to listening to things that you haven't heard before and also trying new things in terms of drawing. I find that that overlap makes a lot of sense to me. It just helps me a ton. I found that when I do discover a new artist and I do draw, those are the nights where I find myself exploring way more than when I don't try new things. And if I just stick to a routine, then things don't open up as much. Like, my brain doesn't become as expansive. I feel a lot less creative. But when I find new things and I'm open to it, that also translates into the drawing. And that's tip number 5. That's the 5 tips or tricks to be more creative daily. If you have anything that you found yourself that really helps you, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what helps you guys be more creative on a regular basis. And yeah, those were my 5. Try some of them. I highly recommend going for walks on a regular basis. That's the biggest one. Doodling while tired, that's maybe like a personal thing. Like maybe somewhere you find that you're more creative in the morning while you have your coffee or whatever. Like, there's so many different ways creativity does flow, so it's all very personal, but there are certain things I think have a lot of crossover, so feel free to let me know what helps you guys. Thank you so much for watching this. If you're interested in watching from day 1 to day 14 of this sketchbook challenge, the playlist will be in the description. I also put out the cloud painting course. I just finished up my cloud painting course. Feel free to check that out. I'll link it in the description. It has lots of good stuff. If you're interested in learning how to paint in acrylics, painting clouds is super fun. And it's also a great way to get used to trying new colors and painting with like a variety of colors instead of sticking to a very limited palette. I think clouds are a great opportunity to just play around with colors. So if you haven't painted with colors in a long time, feel free to check out the course. It's a great way to get into it. And that's it. I'll see you guys again soon for day 14, and then we'll get into more painting stuff. So that's it. Thank you so much. Make sure to check out the website if you're interested in art tutorials, painting courses, bunch of stuff over on the website, and sign up for the mailing list if you're interested in staying in touch. And if this was of value to you, feel free to subscribe. So yeah, that's all there's left for the end. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.